here we go. So today we got chest. I'm thinking incline Smith machine press into some cable flies. We'll continue with, maybe we'll do some machine press today, machine incline instead of dumbbell incline. I feel like if I'm actually able to start on the Smith machine first and I can really push that hard, then go into some crazy cable flies, having to do some like stabilization on dumbbells might be a little crazy to finish up the workout. We'll move right into shoulders as usual, and then I'm thinking shoulder press, lateral raises, a little bit of rear delts just thrown in there. It's better to do a suboptimal movement than completely skip them. But anyways, we'll finish off with triceps. I'm thinking some crazy heavy pushdowns today, and then of course some overhead rope tricep extensions. And I think that should be pretty freaking solid. Of course, can't forget the cardio session after the workout. But otherwise, pretty simple chest day, just the same as usual. I'm taking a little bit of a hit today because I did not go to sleep at a good time last night, which is, of course, my own freaking fault. I turned into a yapatron and just talked away with my family until like 12:30, and I ended up not sleeping till like 1:30. So, had to wake up early, of course, responsibilities, duty still calls. And, we dug our own grave here in this situation, and not much we can do. We're running off around like 6 hours of sleep, so it is what it is. But this sparks a very important topic of discussion, and that is sleep. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and act like sleep is like the most important variable in the equation for gains. Some people sit there and act like sleep is like all you need to build muscle, but really at the end of the day, you're not gonna build muscle if you're not going to the gym. Come on. Like, sure, you build your muscle during your rest, but what gave you the potential to build that muscle? It was the workout itself. But anyways, now that that's out of the way, let's discuss the variable of sleep, because it actually can make a difference. Now, people like to act like, if you're not getting enough sleep all the time, you're just like completely ruining your gains. Now, that's not necessarily 100% true. Now, while it is true that, like, of course, getting less rest is going to equal rest, or is going to equate to less recovery, of course, sometimes there's more steps and things to consider. Consider this. People that take tren still put on a lot of muscle. What am I getting at? Trenbolone acetate is notorious for ruining your sleep. People on tren, a lot of the time I've heard, get somewhere between like 2 to 4 hours of sleep on average, because tren really messes with your sleep cycle and your body's clock. So how can it be that they're still putting on muscle? So of course sleep isn't the biggest variable. However, here's a counter argument to that, and here's my stance on sleep. I think sleep isn't a huge variable if you're getting enough to still operate. But it becomes a problem when you're getting less than adequate sleep consistently. And this is a common theme on this channel, consistency. If you're consistently getting bad sleep, you're consistently gonna be recovering less, you're consistently gonna be more tired, and as a result, your potential for gains is gonna decrease because you're consistently gonna be getting weaker workouts, or should I say lower quality workouts. For example, consider a guy who's getting like 8.5 hours, 9 hours of sleep every night, and how energized he must feel waking up every day and heading to the gym, versus the dude getting like 5 hours, 4 hours of sleep on a daily basis, and then his gym sessions. Who would you think is probably gonna have the higher intensity of lifts? Well, 99 times out of 100, it's gonna be the dude who was getting a lot more freaking sleep, and that shouldn't come at any surprise. So if we forget about the idea of recovery and focus on the idea of just, this is something a lot of people agree with, even people that aren't huge into like the whole science part of lifting. You can't maximize your gains if you're not pushing it hard. Pushing it hard is a prerequisite to growth, of course. So if you're not sleeping enough, how do you expect to be able to push it the hardest that you can to the best of your ability? Now, I'm not talking about a different kind of sleeping. Or, the other kind of sleeping, potentially with other people. Come on. That's a boost in cardiovascular activity, but it's okay. I doubt my own followers know anything about that. I'm just playing around. Anyways, guys, it is what it is. I can already, like, I usually get like 8.5 hours of sleep on average. During the academic year, it dips to like 7.5, which is still like, it's not optimal, but I'm still able to, like, you know, I'm a bit groggy in the morning, but I get up, get a little bit of caffeine in me, and then the energy's there, and then it's fine. But on days where you're starting to get sub 6, close to 6, even lower, I don't know. It's just not for me. Would not freaking recommend it. Very excited that the mics are finally coming in tomorrow. I'm not sure if they'll arrive before cardio, because I'm only going to do a car talk. Although I don't think the audio is really that bad in the car. I would say that the problem is more so in the gym due to all the, you know, the extra background noise and the clutter going on in the background. I really do want to fix that for you guys, but we'll just see what happens. But anyways, plan for after the lift, of course, is a cardio session. And I'm thinking JoJo's Bizarre Adventure as our form of entertainment for today. I'm on the final arc, Stone Ocean. You know, the show is absolutely great. I would highly recommend it for anybody that hasn't watched. If I had to give you my top five animes, I would go... I have to put Naruto at 1 because it's just the one I started with. You know, it holds a special place in my heart. But no particular order. I love Jujutsu Kaisen. It's freaking great. Hunter x Hunter is also sick. Very cool. Underrated, Kaguya-sama Love is War. Very, very funny. I'm not a huge rom-com guy, but it's a very, very funny show. Would highly recommend. Also, Bleach, very cool. Pretty freaking badass. Demon Slayer is sick. You know, maybe I'm just an anime head. I fucking love everything I watch, to be honest with you. I don't really think too much about it, but I think it's good gym motivation. Sometimes I like to crank up Jujutsu Kaisen intros while I'm in the gym, of course, like during my squat sets. But anyways, that's enough fooling around. Of course, we'll do our cardio. We're gonna eat after the gym. Oh, there is something we need to address before the workout begins. My diet as of the last week has not been good. Let's just say it's been a little too crazy. I've been eating maybe somewhere between like 500 to 1,000 calories over my daily maintenance. And you know, maybe the body needed it because my weight did take a drop over the course of the summer. Intentionally, of course, but I think the cut maybe lasted slightly too long. You know, I might just call this a mini bulk, and maybe we'll enter a short, couple of week bulking phase. Well, but here's the thing though. I do want to enter a bulk when the semester starts in a few weeks. I find it easier to eat while I'm studying and like using up all that brain power and walking all over campus. I just get super freaking hungry. I don't know. That's something to think about for later. Oh well. Energy levels are all around low today. The weather is very dreary. Pulling out words from Narnia today, dude. Anyways, it's gonna be a good workout. Push it hard. Let's just get straight into it. That's enough yapping. Okay, loading up 2 plates today to start off. I'm thinking we can leave it to 2 sets on this one. Again, I really want to make sure I'm not overdoing the volume because, you know, I am one of those people that tends to maybe push a little bit too many reps. I know they say somewhere between like 10 to 20 sets a week per muscle group is optimal, and I tend to veer closer to that 20 side, maybe sometimes higher. So I'm trying to change up my training recently to see if I can keep up the same level of improvement while, you know, minimizing fatigue. But let's just hop right into the first set here, and then we'll only do 2. Let's go.
I'll do wrong. No, you're not.
That's a waste of a drive. You're like, it's like, what would you like that? drop the weight a bit. Okay, might have overdone it on the weight selection there, but I just did a few extra reps off camera after dropping the weight, but that's okay. I was feeling a little extra strong today, so got a little confident, but 2 plates was a little too heavy. We only got 6 reps and they were rough, so gotta just make sure the weight stays in a viable range. It isn't too wild, enough so we can control. I felt like I had to use a bit of momentum on the 2, but anyways, one more good one. Move on. Okay, let's finish. Okay, again, the idea on these, emphasize the stretch big time. Oh, I'm scaring myself with a beard a little bit. Anyways, emphasize the stretch a little bit. Try not to take it so far that we hurt our shoulders, but just enough that we get to a point that's like comfortable to reach back on. Let's just get straight into the first set. We'll do 3 hard, nice ones here, and we'll finish off with 2 on the incline press. Let's go. Okay, let's drop down one. Now, something a lot of people get worried about a lot of the time is like, oh, which foot do I have forward, and does it matter? Honestly, the answer is not really. If you feel like putting one foot forward compared to the other is biasing one side a lot more than the other one, then I would switch it up frequently. But most people that I've dealt with don't really have issues like left leg, right leg forward, whatever's more comfortable. As long as you're stable, I think that's what's important here. As long as you're in a stable position where you can control both sides well, it should be fine. I don't think you have to concern yourself too much with the details on whatever it is it may be. But it is what it is. Let's just do a second set here. Drop the weight a tick. I think the lack of sleep is settling in. Let's go. Okay, let's go one more. All right, let's finish strong. All right, on to our last movement. Let's go. Now, before we get into this last set, I have a massive announcement. So in one of the shorts or reels or whatever that I'm posting today, I'm finally including some Clash Royale gameplay. I'm unvaulting, I'm revealing Lavaloon Clone for the glory of the world to see. Now this deck is revolutionary. I will hit Ultimate Champion with Lavaloon Clone. I refuse to give in to the meta, but look forward to that. If you want to see that, I'll try to link it to the video, but if not, it should be on my page on like one of the most recent shorts. So I think I'm gonna start pumping out videos with Clash Royale content like on the bottom as I'm just like yapping away, but this is what it is. Might even warrant an exclusive Clash Royale video. Anyways, the idea here, I feel like I can't get quite the biggest stretch on these, but I love the squeeze on the incline press. And I do think it gets low enough anyways, although I do like that massive stretch. We just did 2 movements that really emphasize the stretch. So let's just go ahead and focus on pushing some heavy reps, somewhere 8 to 10. Might drop for the second set, but we'll do 2 really crazy ones and just pump it out and then move on to shoulders. Come on. Gotta drop for the next set. Okay, last one. Okay, onto some crazy shoulders. Now, do you guys want the secret to building big shoulders? It's doing it. Just kidding. If there is a secret, there isn't really one other than actually like consistently hitting shoulders, but really it's lateral raises, and I'm talking about the side delt. It's a very neglected part of the movement for shoulders by a lot of people, especially bros. And I know it's more like flashy to do the shoulder press, and while it's still good, I would focus more on your side delts, especially if you're struggling to put on size on your shoulder. I mean, that's front delts already get enough volume, especially with your pressing movements like chest and everything. So if your shoulders are underdeveloped, it's likely that you don't have enough side delt engagement, and it's not always about the weight. Again, I would recommend using anything from 25 pounds and below, and just really making sure you have control all the way through the rep. You're gonna end up frying your shoulders. Trust me, if you try slow side raises with a lighter weight, it'll wreck you. But it's enough yapping, let's do step 2. Now, I'm not saying that dumbbells are like exactly what you want to be doing if you want to focus on those. I would really veer more towards cables if you're specifically trying to target your side delt. And same idea, keep the weight low so you don't accidentally engage your traps and your lats. But that's enough jargon. One more set and we'll do triceps. So I made the executive decision to do push downs first instead of rope extensions, just because I can. So let's just go ahead and do them. Come on. Okay, go up a couple notches here. So again, on these tricep movements, I'm really trying to focus on the, I'm trying to keep my shoulders tucked like up like this while hammering my arms into my sides. Now I might flare a little bit on my way up, but really I'm trying on that press to keep everything as tight as possible, especially to emphasize the long head. And that's what most people are missing out on triceps. So I'm gonna try to pay close attention to doing that, especially here on my last set before we move on to our final movement. Okay, let's finish off. Okay, I'm hoping to shoot for really light, but a very big squeeze and the stretch on this movement. We'll do 2-3 sets based on how we feel. Let's just hop straight into the first one. And again, same idea with jamming the elbows into the sides, keeping those triceps tight. Let's go. Wow, maybe to drop down a notch deeper. Now, something I was going to say that I forgot. You know what? I don't even know where I was going with that. Well, I'll get back to you. Okay, I just remembered. I'm considering picking up dips next time. It's something I feel like I've been missing out on. I feel like, I don't know, it's a very different type of movement. It's kind of similar to the pushdown, I suppose, but it's just a different type of movement, and I really want to try to switch it up. I think there's value in switching up the movements frequently just so you can shock the muscle. Just kidding. But, you know, of course, hit different parts of the muscle, and you want to make sure you're incorporating everything that you possibly can. Don't mind my lazy eye. Anyway, set 2. Oh my goodness, I have to drop down another notch. Okay, let's try to throw in a really nasty final finishing set. Come on. Okay. Off to the freaking pose down. I'm gonna see if I can try a different location with better lighting, but it might be a little bit out in the public. I don't know if this is the tarps off type of gym, and I'm not trying to get banned for my daily gym, so let's figure it out. Okay, so initial location, plan off. I don't think it's going to work, but we'll try in here for today. It's kind of private, so I think we can rip the tarp off and then throw it back on real quick. All right. Lighting is a little bit better than in the locker room. I'll start off with my favorite. Just shave the chest hairs off and all that, so everything is showing a little bit differently. Yeah. Okay, front double. Oh, yeah, I like this one. Let's do a back double. Okay, that's enough for now. Anyways, mics are coming in tomorrow, so things should get a whole lot better, especially in terms of video quality. But let's just get back to the cardio now. I'll catch you guys in the car. Wow, I look freaking bald. Man, I am just not used to seeing my face without a beard. I've been rocking the beard for like, oh, I don't know, since like, I want to say last August until really this summer. And then I ripped it off for the first time like a month ago. And, you know, it was nice having the smooth face for like a little bit. I mean, the skin, I think, under there needed a little bit of a break. That was chalked up. However, it is not a sight I am used to seeing for freaking sure. It is quite strange. Also, like, I feel like the sweat just like running down my face now. It's just like a very foreign feeling to me nowadays. It's just strange to think that, I don't know, my face has always been like this, but I like the beard better anyways. Like I said, I feel like it gives me like a stat boost, especially when I look at it. Like I don't know. It makes me feel more manly. Oh well, though. Pretty solid workout today. You know, even though energy levels were low starting off, I feel like it really picked up as I continued working. So that's pretty freaking good. I tried upping the video quality a bit today, but it burned the battery off my phone. Yeah, but solid cardio session, solid pump. Oh, I do want to talk about the posing though. That room is actually just terrible. Like it looks like it'll work, but like on the camera, it just ends up horrible. I was watching the clip back afterwards just to see how the lighting was, and it really did suck. I mean, there's no way to put it any better than that. The lighting was really just horrible. So I think we'll just be sticking with the locker room for now until I find another location, but it's okay. Now, something I was thinking about there, like at the end while I was doing some cardio, and of course watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, was I get like a question a lot, and it's like, what's the best split? Like, oh, bro, Nassim, dude, what's like the best split to do? Well, the best split to do is the one that you're actually going to freaking do. Okay, I'm just gonna say it like that. Here's what I mean. If you're new to the gym and you want to jump straight into like a 6-day-a-week lifting split, you're doing too much. I can't lie, bro. Like that, there's no way you're gonna be able to keep that up, and you're just gonna end up hating the gym and quitting immediately because you're gonna get super sore. Your body's not used to the amount of intensity and you know, strain is undergoing under all that heavy weight. So you're just gonna end up getting really tired and you're gonna hate your life. However, say you give the same new guy like, you know, 3 times a week routine, or just 2 days just to start. like go in and do an upper lower, or let's say they did a 3-day push-pull legs, push one day, then rest, then pull one day, and then rest, and then legs one day, and then rest. If you're new to the gym, I would highly, and I can't emphasize this more, highly recommend doing a more conservative routine starting off to, again, build that consistency. And once you build the consistency, and once your body gets used to it, then you can start upping the training intensity. Because again, it's also going to take you a long time to recover at first when you aren't used to doing the movements. Now, going back to the more advanced lifters, so you guys who are wondering like about very specific splits and like, multiple day a week splits, like we're talking like 4, 5, 6 days. Here are my favorite few, and they each have their own strengths. They each also have their own weaknesses. So it isn't like a black and white discussion. Again, what works best for you is going to be the best split. The one you're actually going to do is what's best. But here are some general ones that you can use to kind of like build your routine around. Mine is push-pull legs. That's what I run. I like to do an 8-day split, kind of like Chris Bumstead when he was working out in his like as he prepared for the Olympia. I like going push with like chest, shoulders, triceps, and then pull with back and biceps, and then legs, and I'll split that up into, I'll do, push-pull legs, I'll take a rest day, and then I'll do push-pull, but then the second leg day is different. I like to do one leg day quads and the second one hamstrings, and just alternate those, because legs, I feel like I can't take all that tension at once. It's just too crazy. As much as I like the crazy pump, it's a little bit too crazy if I do it all at once. Another split is upper lower. Upper lower, you can do a lot more, let's say volume. Let's say you went 6 days a week with upper lower. You're gonna get every muscle group 3 times, but I feel like you'll end up building a lot of extra fatigue. However, the strength of upper lower is that if you do it 4 days a week, you get more rest days. So if you are pressed on time and you can't make it into the gym every day, I actually would recommend an upper lower split, because you'll get adequate volume for everything, but you might not be able to focus as much on each minor body part. For example, I get to focus on like side delts and like rear delts and all that because I have so many different days I'm going in. But if you're going in only like twice a week and you have to do all the upper body stuff at once, we're talking chest, shoulders, triceps, back, and biceps, you're likely going to not be able to have time to like do more than like 1 or 2 shoulder movements total. So, or 1 per workout really, because if you have every like upper body movement at once, it's a little hard. But the strengths are that you don't have to deal with nearly as much fatigue as push-pull legs, which that is the major weakness of push-pull legs, fatigue. The strength is that you kind of get like, well, it's like a jack of all trades, master of none, which is why I personally like it for beginners. But again, if you want to focus on more specific things, then maybe you should switch, and I am considering switching off of it recently. So we discussed push-pull legs, we discussed upper-lower. There is the Arnold split. You could look that up. That's like kind of like a hybrid split. It like splits off its days. I'm pretty sure it goes something like chest and back, and then you'll have like an arms day, which is shoulders, biceps, triceps, and you'll have a leg day, and then you'll have like a day where it's chest and triceps, or maybe chest and biceps, and then back and triceps or back and biceps. I'm gonna get mixed up. I've never personally done the Arnold split, but I know a lot of people who do it. I believe it's a 5-day-a-week split. You get 2 rest days. But again, I feel like all of this talk really is just semantics. So the conclusion, if you need to focus on specific body parts, dedicate extra days for those. If you're a beginner, do a split you can actually stick to. And if you're an advanced lifter, pick something that actually works for you, that'll allow you to push it really hard and also still be like well recovered and rested so you can work hard. Anyways, that's really all I have to talk about for today. So I'm just gonna get home, wipe the sweat off, maybe take a nice little steamy hot shower, and then we'll get some dinner rolling. And that's about it. I'm very excited to hopefully pull out the mics tomorrow if they arrive early enough. If not, we'll use them Saturday for back day with, actually, we might do something different this weekend because I'm lifting with my powerlifting friend. But anyways, we'll see what happens with the mic situation. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, support me, follow my Instagram, do everything for me. Please, I'm desperate. Anyways, guys, thank you. Peace out.